You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
Hey entrepreneurs, it's your podcast mogul Phil Better here. I am excited for this episode as I know you are. Before we jump into this episode, I'm going to ask you if you are also a podcaster and you're looking to grow your podcast or monetize your podcast, make sure you stay till the end of the episode. I have a special deal for you, or a special offer, if you will. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's jump into the episode.
Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the podcast mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital
Phil Better.
Podcast.
And today I'm very excited because we have Monica Miller from Monica Writes on the podcast, and we're going to learn all about her and her journey in the world of entrepreneurship. Monica, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited that we are making this happen.
I'm very excited. You have a huge smile, which always bodes well for me when my guests have huge smiles. I know I'm going to learn so much. But Monica, I would love for you to give us the, elevator pitch of who you are and what you do.
Yeah. So my name is Monica Miller. I am your content guide, and I help authors get seen by helping them learn the skill set of marketing. So whether you are a wannabe, entrepreneur, you're about to transition into entrepreneurship, and maybe you have a book, or you're going to use this book for part of your business, whatever. I love marketing. Whoops. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're frozen on the screen, but I can hear you.
Let me see if I can stop my camera. They come back on. Oh, well, it's not going to work.
You can just stop your camera and that's fine. It's not the end of the world.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, let me start over. Or,
if you don't mind, please.
Yeah. I'm Monica Miller, and I'm your content guide, and I help authors get seen by the power of marketing. So if you are someone who has just written a book, maybe you're thinking about writing a book, whether you're going to use it because this is part of what you love to do, or maybe you're going to use it for a future business, I want to help you market it. And so I have a brand new membership called the Author Marketing Lab, where it's a lab just full of authors who are wanting to learn how to market and make more sales while creating more impact so that their message can get out and seen into the world.
So that's amazing. I love knowing that there's people out like you helping authors increase their sales and just become more aware of what marketing is, because that's what how you make your sales is through marketing. But I'm curious, what made it that you wanted to go after authors specifically?
So one of my biggest dreams when I was 12 was to become a famous author. And as you probably know, as you grow up, you realize the famous in authorship is probably an unlikely going to happen. So I was just like, well, you know what? I love to write. So I began to write, and I actually published my first book at the age of 18, and I published two since then. I just recently let out a journal. But one of the things that I just found that I really enjoy helping authors because most of the authors I work with they wrote a book for their business. And I went into a lot of entrepreneurs who generally don't know how to market themselves. And I'm like, well, you have a book. You have so much to pull from, like content, marketing, and how to explain what you do inside your book. And I love to repurpose. I love to share how people can market themselves by that power of repurposing. And it's just, I think that's just like the love of helping people get the words out of the book into the marketing space has just really lit me up. And as an author myself, I understand where they're coming from. And by last fall, I actually accepted a part-time position as a marketing director at a book publishing company. So that is like really exciting, and I love what I do. And I think after I said yes to that, I just fell in love with working with authors, and I really felt the call to begin working with authors again, a second time. So I decided I'm just going to go all in and work with authors, help their books get seen and heard more.
I love that. And I personally, I love people who work with authors because they allow us to have that escape from reality, but also provide us with knowledge that we may not have access to because they have access to people that we don't. So if you're doing business books, they have access to these business people. Oh, that way Monica's back. Have the business people have access to these amazing business people, but also they can create these worlds that are just like a refresh from the everyday that you need to escape from. And if you're on TikTok and you go to book talk, my God, there's more authors than I ever thought possible, and I love it because we have people like you, Monica, helping them grow. When you started, oh so short ago or long ago, depending on how you want to look at it, was there already a blueprint for you to follow to start your journey, or did you have to write your blueprint yourself?
I had to write it myself. So I've been in business since 2014, and I did hire a coach pretty soon after I started my business. But all I knew what to do was to show up in networking places, a little bit online, and, had some packages together. And that's how I started. I just had to make it up and go with what I thought was going to work. And then I hired a coach, and she did give me a blueprint. But I'm going to be really honest. I think if she would have waited another year or two, I probably would have been a better client for her. I just felt like when I said yes to her, I just was not in the space to really understand some of the things she was teaching me. What I really needed was someone to work with me and how I love to work and how my energy, rather than oh, look, this is what I did for a completely different business. And this is how I made my money, or how I made my business happen, without considering, well, this is where, okay, I see that you are passionate about this. Let's try to market yourself more here. Instead of just saying, oh, well, I did it this way. So I'm just,
how I did it. This is how you have to do it type deal.
Yeah. And of course, 10 years later, last year I discovered my human design type, and it just changed everything for me. Everything just made sense. And I'm just like, yeah. So now I have actually partnered with a projector coach. I'm a projector for those who are into human designs. So I'm a projector. So I have a projector coach because she gets my energy. And that's the number one thing. Just like, I guess, a tip. Like if you're going to hire a coach, make sure they work in the same energy as you, because there are vastly different energies out there. And having one that works really well with you is going to, it's going to be a lot more freedom of like, you can actually express yourself in a way that I felt like I just couldn't with other energies, because I hired a couple of different coaches throughout my time. So I don't know if that answered your question, but
You did. And you brought up a follow-up question, which I love when answers bring up follow-up questions. If you were to start all over again, if we snap our fingers, we're back in 2014, what would you do differently?
yeah. So to give you a little bit of backstory, when I started my business, I quit a part-time job I had and just went all in to my business. And I know, like, I think my husband let me, like, I borrowed like a couple $1,000s from our account to help me get started on my business. And one of the things I wished I would have done instead is to create that safety net of safety for myself as I transitioned, having some type of, part-time job or even an income. Because one of the things I did in my journey of entrepreneurship is, I joined a couple of different coaching programs that was way out of my price range. And I got into debt really quick, really fast, with no way of knowing how I'm going to pay off the debt. And I mean, I'm still paying off some of that debt, if I'm being, just to be honest and crystal clear, of just some of the decisions I made and the programs I got into. And so I really wish I would have just known how to regulate my nervous system with having that safety net. With a lot of women, is that we need safety, and having that safety for us is key to us receiving. Like, we can't be open when we are like clenching because we're stressed about money or how we're going to make this happen, how we're going to pay this bill. We are more, we can't receive. So that would be something that I would change, is having something that would make me money as I worked on my business and maybe put some money back. So when I decided, okay, I'm ready to take the leap, because I've figured out my process. I figured out how I like to make money, how I get leads, how I get clients to me. Once I figure that out, then having that leap and having that safety net, I think would have done wonders and into where I am today. So that would be something I would redo.
I like that. And it's a good piece of advice for anybody looking to jump into the world of entrepreneurship, to have that, hey, make yourself a safety net. It doesn't have to be a huge safety net. It can be something just like 2 to 3 months worth of just like, no stress, like I got 2 months of runway, usually more than 2 months, but at least 2 months of runway to try this out, so that I can feel secure. And it is true. Yeah. And I don't think it's just women who, if they're completely closed off, they can't receive. I think it's everybody in the human form. If you're not into the mode of receiving, if you're in this scarcity mindset, you'll have this issue of not receiving, not getting the benefits that you deserve. And now that we talked a bit about your past, I want to talk about your future. I snap my fingers, we're 5 years in the future. Where's Monica? It's been since 2014. You've been in business. What is Monica doing 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I would love to be, working a few hours a day with my business. I'm kind of actually I'm there now, but anyways. Yes,
Even less hours now. That's what we're looking.
That's right, less hours. And one of the things I always see is like having a small team, not a huge team. I'm not one of those, I want to have all these team members. I just want like maybe a VA and maybe one other person in my business, to help me run my membership, and create, help me find speaking engagements. So, being invited to speak in, So I guess like 5 years from now, I would like to see myself having paid speaking engagements coming to me, asking me, can you come and speak to our audience? My membership is built up to where there's hundreds of people in my membership learning and growing and having a lot of success because they have found community. Another thing I see is, I would love to start a podcast. So that would be my future. So in 5 years from now, I'll have my podcast and it'll be a lot of fun. I'll have guests on. I would do some one-on-one, just me talking about my expertise because going back to human design, I have a defined throat, so I can talk and I love to talk. So
I couldn't tell. I
know why you're shy. I have a podcast, a couple more books out. I will be making passive income with my journals, my books, and even some other things that I have going on now. Like that would just be a flow, and I will just have that. I would make money every day. So that would be 5 years from now. And I would be homeschooling both of my boys at that time.
That I think that's the big goal. Just being able to spend more time with your kiddos and teaching them the stuff that they need to learn. Would you pivot to something else?
That's such an interesting question. So this is my answer. One of the things that whenever I switched to doing a membership just recently for authors, I really just felt God just tell me, because I wanted to bring back more time. I was doing coaching and I love coaching. I love helping people in that container, but I just found that I was getting burned out with just the marketing for it. And I just really felt being pulled back into authors because I work with authors anyways. I'm the marketing, coach and director for a publishing company that just literally fell in my lap. I mean, there's some way it happened, just fell into my lap. It was a total God thing. And it's been, I love it. And so one of the things that, I'm lost my train of thought now because I went there and now I'm coming back here. Phil, you remind me of the question. My brain is into mom mode.
I think we were talking about pivoting.
Yeah, pivoting. Okay, thank you. Pivoting. So I was really scared to pivot this time because I felt like I pivoted in the past and I'm just like, am I confusing my audience? And there's a lot of things that came up for me during this pivot. And I posted it on Facebook and somebody who, who's been following me and I've been following her, she commented and she said, I don't see this as a pivot. I see it as like involving.
Ooh.
And, because during my pivot, I was even thinking of like, maybe I should just let go of my business and just work as a marketing director. And what would that be like, And I felt like God just kind of opened up like a door for me to say, no matter what, I got your back. And number two, new doors are going to open up for you. Like I already knew if I decided I don't want to do my business, I just want to work for the publishing company, then a new door will open. Like no matter what, it will open. I already knew that. Like no matter what I decide, a new door will open. Like even now that I'm going to this membership, like, structure, new doors are going to open. I don't know what the doors are, but I'm just going to see what is available. Because one thing that I felt like God's been teaching me a lot lately, and maybe some of you need to hear this too, is that nothing's forever. Number one, nothing's forever. And things are for seasons. There's seasons in our lives. Like right now I have 2 young children. One is, I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. I'm about to start homeschooling my 5-year-old. And so I'm in a season where I want to take back my time and be with my son while I'm homeschooling him and, doing field trips and joining co-ops and doing fun things. And that's for this season. But in the next season, whenever that is, it could be a year from now, 2 years from now, I don't know. Whenever that next season comes, there's something new's going to open up for me. And I don't know what it is. So I don't know there's another pivot coming, but there probably is. Because I think that's the journey. Like everybody talks about this destination, but I don't think that there is a destination for per se. There's more this journey, this beautiful journey that you can be on. And it's full of pivots, turnarounds, curves, ups and downs. And, wherever you are at, it's a season. So wherever you're at, you are in a season. It's not going to last forever. So just know like something new will open up for you, and to trust that process. It's harder than I make it sound.
Oh, yeah, it's very hard. And I like how you look at the world as your journey or your time as seasons. Because when you brought that out, like it's a season, it will pass and this and that, it reminds me of a video of Tom Hanks. That it's a little clip from him having an actor round table. He has a couple actors at the table, and he goes, and they're talking about the best advice they received, and it's, this too shall pass. You're having a horrible time, this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
You're having a great time, this too shall pass. Enjoy it while it's here, or if it's a bad time, know that it's going to pass. And it's just like you said, the seasons. Like you're just in seasons. It's every season changes, it passes, it turns on with the evolution of life. And I really like how you look at you look at it as, I'm in a season. Like I'm going to be starting a season of teaching my child in homeschooling, and I love that because it makes you appreciate how short it can be, because we all know how short seasons can be.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if it's a bad time, you're like, it's only going to be short, so I don't have to worry about it. I can weather this storm or weather this period, and then I know on the other side it's going to be a better time. It's going to be a better season. So I really, really do like that you shared that.
And even if you say, well, that was like not a bad season, that was a bad season, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Don't look at it that way. I will love to invite you to consider it like as a lesson. Like I don't know if there's any failures. I think it's all lessons because we're just learning. There's no manual for this. There's no manual for entrepreneurship. There's no manual for life. There's no manual for raising children. It's just, you have to experience and do something. And if you found out, well, that didn't work, well, it is, that was a lesson you learned. That's all.
I agree with you 100%. I don't believe there are failures in life. They're just lessons that you take so that you don't make the same mistake. And I always say that there is no manual for life. We write it, and then it gets stored in some big data center and never to be looked at again. But it's shared with the collective consciousness. Monica, we are coming to near the end of the episode, and I hate it because I'm having such a great time talking with you and sharing such great insights. But I'm going to jump off screen here. I want you to let my audience know where they can connect with you, how they can join this membership if they're looking to become an author and print money with your method and help with that. So the floor is yours.
All right. Well, if you have enjoyed this conversation and you want to, experience this membership or just connect with me further, you can always come and be my friend at Monica Wright. Well, you can join me on Monica Wright on my Facebook page. But if you really just want to connect with me one-on-one, join me, actually become my friend on Facebook. That's where I hang out. That's where I share my golden nuggets and funny things. Some of those could be about my boys because they are pretty funny and they're really cute, my opinion. So you can go to my Facebook. You can become my friend. It's Monica Lynn, Lynn. Find me on there. I will probably be in the show notes. Also, if you are I would love to see how you can help me one-on-one. I do have some one-on-one slots open. So if you're looking for someone to help you market your book that's tailored to you, your energy, how you like to market, give you a blueprint, something that I do not have, then I would love for you to have a discovery call with me. It's free, it's 30 minutes. We get to learn about one another. It's monicawrights.com/calendar. And lastly, if you are curious about this membership, you can go to monicawrights.com/lab. That's monicawrights.com/lab. And that is how you can learn more about the Author Marketing Lab membership and see if you are interested in moving forward and being a part of it. There's a community. There's, where you can ask questions. There's co-writing spaces where you can come on and write, have eyes, have the community eyes on your content afterwards. And then there is a monthly marketing training with guests. And of course, there'll be a lot of, myself in there teaching you how to market in a way that lights you up. So come join us at the Author Marketing Lab, and I cannot wait to be connected with you further.
Monica, thank you so much for coming on this show and sharing your story, sharing your advice, and all your wisdom with my audience today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me come on. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. To my audience, as you know, you can check the show notes down below for all the links to Monica's stuff. I highly suggest if you are an author or you're starting to be an author, go check out the Writing Lab so that you can jumpstart and take your writing to the next level. Monica, again, I thank you so much for being here. Audience, I thank you guys for listening. You are all amazing. And remember to always invest in yourself.
Hey, digital entrepreneurs, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Now, if you're looking to take your podcast to the next level, like most of these entrepreneurs have taken their business to the next level, to scale it, if you will, make sure you check out my brand new newsletter. Links are down below. It is called the Monetization Mogul Syndicate newsletter, or it could be Feel Better Stories of Monetization Moguls, or Making Moguls is what I do. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. But I want to thank you very much for listening. And as always, remember to invest in yourself.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.